Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer and I'm here today to talk about the full moon in Capricorn tomorrow, Sunday, July 21st, 2024 at 3:17 a.m. Pacific time. This is the second full moon in Capricorn that we have had within the last month, and we'll end up recalibrating the moon cycle where we'll start back where the new moon is at the beginning of the month and the full moon is at the second half of the month. This particular full moon is very powerful. It's very emotional. As you can see here, we have the moon conjunct Pluto retrograde. Pluto is just about to make its entry back into Capricorn. And I believe that this is giving a lot of illumination about some of the structures we have in our life, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual beliefs and dynamics that we've operated on for a long time that we may come into in a realization that they're not working quite as effectively as you would like them to be. When I do astrology, I just see themes and patterns. It's the way my mind works. So here, I couldn't help but note that the day of the full moon in Capricorn reduces down to a 10, 7 plus 2 plus 1. The whole day reduces down to a 9, which is the end of a cycle, echoing this full moon's illumination as some sort of ending of one thing and the beginning of something new. And I believe this is happening more on an interior level, again, with this moon being conjunct, and the idea that this full moon is at 29 degrees. The 29 reduces down to an 11. 11 is the master number of thought. At the time of this full moon, Venus is at 11 degrees of Leo. Neptune is at 29 degrees retrograde in Pisces. And Saturn is at 19 degrees. So here we see many, many indications that this full moon is bringing into our awareness the idea that we have been operating with certain thoughts running in the background, running the underbelly, like the plumbing in your house. You don't know how it works or where it is, but it continues to flow. And what does Pluto rule? It rules the release of toxic waste in the form of the anus, in the form of that body part. So here, I also want to comment that the trine exact to Mars feels very powerful to me because Mars has just entered Gemini. Here again, we see a theme of how does my mind work? Is it run on a loop? As I'm looking at this particular aspect, I can't help but see the house cusps that are being illuminated. Here we see the first and second house cusp, and the eighth house cusp are at 15, seventh and eighth house cusp are at 15 degrees, the Gemini degree. Here we see the ICMC. ICMC is at 3 degrees, and we have this continuing repeat of the number 1. So I think this is very powerful. Now we see that Pluto is supporting Mars in this awareness. These two planets are not easy. They can be very volatile, very angry, very resentful, and yet at the same time, they are very transformational. They rule very polarizing dynamics. With Mars, we go from the warrior, the banshee, to the hero, to the decorated warrior, to the peaceful warrior. With Pluto, we see this real criminal underbelly of using a psychological dynamic to twist to my own advantage. And yet Pluto, once we understand our psychological imprint, allows us the freedom to expand beyond this realm. It literally rules billionaires, not millionaires. So it's a very powerful sign. The other thing about Pluto is, while it's a very tiny little planet, and I give it the credit for being a planet, it has a very large heart in the center that you can see from space. And this heart is created because of the tumultuous energies that are beneath the surface. Again, echoing this idea of some sort of imprint, a soul's imprint, a imprint from your life experience up until now that's really being offered liberation, offered an opportunity to reframe this history. I don't believe in releasing. I'm not wired that way. Mars is not wired that way. But we can make sense of it. And in doing so, it becomes a sharp tool, a knife to cut through the BS, to cut through the illusions of the mind that goes too much into contemplation, the monkey mind. We also see that Uranus is still in Taurus, representing our personal history, how our childhood affected our sense of worth, our value, our ability to be brave. And we see that the moon is in Capricorn, which rules history. It rules the history of humans. And we see that Neptune is in Pisces, ruling the history of the soul. So there's so much power in this one little full moon. Most of the aspects from the other planets are favorable. We see a square between Mercury and Venus, and Mercury and Mars and Uranus, which makes perfect sense because Mercury rules that monkey mind, that too much information may not be a good thing. Too many small bites of information doesn't tell a full story. And at this time, we see that Mercury is making a favorable aspect to Chiron, which gives us an opportunity to individualize, to start to think about things in a new way, in a broader way, in a way that individualizes my experience and supports my expansion versus my contraction. So this is really, to me, this full moon also feels as if it illuminates something over time. I don't know why I want to put it that way, but I feel as if when I look at the patterns of ones that are showing up, I feel as if this could potentially alert you throughout your everyday activities and habits to the unconscious imprint of your mind, the way you just normally think. Let's give you an example. Maybe you think when you drive into a crowded parking lot or you drive into Costco, oh my God, I'm never going to find a parking space. The awareness that that is your underlying belief that has now come out of your mouth through your voice is what this full moon has to offer you. Is that necessarily true? Or if you start to tell a new story, no matter where I go, there's always a parking space for me available immediately. This is what I believe is the beauty of this full moon, to get an idea or to start to see an illumination of some kind that really emphasizes that my thoughts are supporting an experience that I potentially do not want to have. And while those thoughts may be realistic and practical because I'm looking in my bank account, or I'm looking at, the lack of a partner in my bed, or I'm looking at no friends, no money, whatever the case may be, your agreement in that situation and experience is the continued story of it. So in that awareness, you now can recognize the imprint and then just gently and diplomatically engage your team to help you rewrite that story. So I think this is really powerful. Capricorn naturally rules the 10th house, which is a house of leadership, a house of ambition, a house of where people see us and where our reputation lives. And I think that this is an opportunity to start to rewrite how you define leadership and who you're leading. Because as you start to recognize that thoughts are things, you become a real magician within your own life, which inadvertently invites other people to join you in that experience. All right, that's it for me for this full moon in Capricorn. Again, my name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer. If you'd like to book an astrology reading with me or an intuitive reading, I am available. My information is below in the description. And I will be live tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Pacific time. That is the day of our full moon. It will have already taken place. And we will do readings, and we will do go sign by sign and pull a tarot card and do an angel reading for each one. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me. Please like, please subscribe, please share. And I look forward to seeing you next month when we enjoy our first new moon in Leo. Have a great day.